Great.
Yeah. Cheers.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 8 of the Naked Hog podcast. I'm Wes and
Angie.
my lovely bride Angie, and we are coming to you from our greenhouse. And
Can't believe we made it to episode 8.
yeah, episode 8.
I know,
Whoop,
right?
whoop.
It's a thing now.
Don't mind the cats behind us. They're
Playing jungle gym with
Yeah.
our greenhouse.
This is why we don't get greenhouse plastic for this greenhouse, guys.
Right.
Now, earlier today, I actually thought the cats had gone missing.
Yeah, so he calls me and he says, I've been outside 3 times today and I haven't seen any of our cats. And that's like not normal around here. So you walk outside and you're instantly just attacked with attention.
Especially one, Milk.
Yeah, the cats just want that attention. They just love us and they want to see us, especially him. He's got his favorite, little Milk, that is always there just begging to be petted on. So he didn't see any cats.
Nope, none.
And he said, did something happen? So he starts looking. Like I said, he went out 3 times. He starts looking. He really can't find them. So he called me really worried. He was like, where's our cats?
And Milk always comes
Yes.
when you call him.
He knows his name.
Always. And yeah, he did finally come. And then once the sun started setting, they came out. But I have a theory.
I tried to reassure him. I tried to tell him, look, it's the daytime. If they're napping or they're hunting. It's what they do. They
But they
skedaddle.
don't normally. They
They
don't.
skedaddle in the middle of the day. You don't know this, but in the middle of the day, they have a certain time frame where they're not around. They're just off doing their cat
could
thing.
be.
But then they showed back up.
And so I got thinking about it, and the last 2 nights have been a full moon, so it's been, well, I mean, only one of those nights is a full moon, but the last 2 nights have been really bright outside with the moon. The moon's been real bright, and I think maybe it was just really good hunting weather. Maybe they just were busy all night, and so they were sleeping in.
And I noticed a few more dead rodents, like some dead voles and moles hanging
got
around
a dead
the yard.
mole right out in the front yard out here.
I noticed some latest kills, so I think it was just good hunting weather for them, you know?
Yep, I guess so. But they're all accounted for. Well, I haven't seen them all yet, but I'm sure they're around. Just some of them are sleeping in a little longer than others. So
We're sipping on our ginger beer. This is it's great stuff.
yeah, so we just tried this ginger beer, Fever Tree Premium Ginger Beer, made with natural flavors, including exotic gingers.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Exotic gingers.
Yeah. So I've been looking at healthier options to drinking instead of drinking Mountain Dew.
Right.
Something to kind of that
Replace
would
the
satisfy
soda
that.
a little
Yeah.
bit, yeah.
So this ginger beer we picked up from Sam's Club. Fever Tree's the brand, of course. It's really good.
And
You like it?
I love it. I've always been a fan of like regular ginger beer.
I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Okay. I've always been a fan of regular ginger beer in general. I kind of got hooked on it when we found it in the store. So for me, it was like just like drinking a soda, except better, you know, and better for me. Sorry, there's a 18-wheeler that's going by our property. We got some heavy traffic in the evening sometimes. Boy, it has a potency. It has a kick. Like the ginger, you can see the bits of ginger in the bottom of the bottle, and it's a much stronger flavor, but it's so good.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a burn to it. Sorry, guys. I wanted to go get this because in drinking this, so we're on our second box of these, and they ain't cheap, guys. This, you know, a Mountain Dew's like 30 cents or 25 cents a can, you know, if you buy it at Sam's Club. This stuff's like $1.25 or something like that.
Right.
Like, it's not cheap.
It's not a cheap habit to have.
No, it's not. So I ordered these bottles. I don't even think you've seen them yet. Because they came today while
those
you were
are
at
just
church.
exactly like the Renaissance Festival bottles. We bought those bottles at, not those, but we bought ones just like them at the Renfest here lately. And it's at any fair festival thing, I think you generally see this kind of bottle with the little pop top lid.
Yep, so we're gonna try our hand at making our own ginger beer. And if it turns out well, we might go ahead and try some other homemade sodas.
Gonna bottle our own stuff.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. What do you think?
How could it turn out bad?
And it's gotta be cheaper than paying $1 something a bottle. What you doing, Avery?
Avery's got Nickel D with her today. Nicholas the Million.
Carrying little Nickel.
Yeah. Oh, his feet are shaking again. Oh, so he's a game bird, but his breed and his variety of game bird is a warm weather bird. He's a tropical bird, and he loves warm weather and warm climate.
Yeah.
So even being here in Louisiana, the winters are too cold for him. He starts
he's
shaking.
not a fan.
he starts shivering. He's fretting about it. We have a little heater. We have a warming plate in his house. He gets by it at night. He sits up next to that warming plate and gets warm.
Yep. And for those of you that are listening to the podcast and can't see, Avery just came over with Nickel, our little game bird. I don't know, he's what, maybe 12 inches tall? Maybe?
Maybe a foot, maybe.
Not even a foot, I don't think. And he's all black, of course, bright red comb.
Got some
and
some grays there.
And what's this? Is this their chicken beard?
It's
They're wattle. They're little chicken wattle.
There you go, wattles.
He's got his fancy pointed tail.
Yep.
And his name is Nicholas DeMillion Blair.
Yeah,
and
what a name.
He has a little bow tie that she puts on him.
Yep.
His original name was Nickel Dime Blair.
Yeah.
Yep. Nickel D.
Nickel D.
All
and
right.
he has some personality and a half too, guys. He
does.
wants to be the big bad honcho.
Yeah, he does.
He's little.
He's tiny but big attitude. Good job.
You know,
Thanks for showing
Shakespeare
him.
said, though she be but small, she is fierce.
Yeah, he in this case.
He in this case.
So the reason I was worried about the cats, okay, I had a legitimate reason to be concerned about the cats, guys. Just a couple days ago, well, what, 3 days ago now? 2 or 3?
3 days ago.
3 days ago now, we went to put the ducks away. Lily and I went out, and
they had a very bad surprise.
and there was nothing in there. No ducks. There were no ducks in the duck area at all, and the gate was closed.
And there was no trace of ducks. There was no like, oh, we found, you know, a dead duck, or we found the remains of something, or we found some feathers. No, there was no trace of ducks.
No
they were just
ducks
gone
at all.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so we did some looking that night, and the ducks are trained with, it sounds weird, but the ducks are trained to go into their coop at night with a flashlight. So you shine the flashlight out there on the coop, the ducks all start quacking, and they all run into their coop, and then you go shut them in. So we started shining the flashlight around different areas, both within their area and outside of their area, just to see if we could get a response from the ducks, if they were somewhere, if they got out somehow. And we heard one little lone quack off in the distance, and we went out to the garden, and turns out
this way outside the duck area, this out in the gardens that are tarped out there, they heard a little soft quacking.
Yep. And we go out there, and the one lone mallard that we have, Romeo, he survived. And it makes sense because mallards can fly. And if you hear squeaking, that's Avery swinging over on the swing set. So don't mind the squeaking.
I'm pretty sure that the fact that he can fly is the reason he's alive.
Yeah.
Because he flew away from whatever got the rest.
Now we looked and looked and looked that night because in all we had 11 ducks, right? And one survived. So that means 10 ducks disappeared. And we're like, how did 10 ducks disappear that quickly?
Now I know I've heard of, like, you know, a predator getting into an area and slaughtering all the ducks. We would have found all the bodies. But,
yeah, like a raccoon popping their heads off. Or
something horrific like that, I would have seen the evidence. Or if something had taken them, it would have been just 1 or 2 missing, maybe 3. You know, it would have been a handful missing.
Because they can only carry so many at a time.
I know, 10 ducks.
Yeah.
So what could have carried off 10 ducks?
Yeah, we still don't know. We looked around that night. We couldn't find anything. Of course, it was dark outside. It got real dark real quick while we were looking. Hey, how you doing, bud? Oh, nice. He's miles over in a little box playhouse covered with a blanket over there.
You did a good job, buddy. Good job.
So we looked and we looked and we looked, and we couldn't really find much of anything that night.
Right, we were looking for evidence of, you know, maybe there was a hole in the fence, or paw prints, or maybe there would be a trail outside the area, or anything, yeah.
So we called it a night. We put Romeo in a safe place. We have a brooder where we keep the baby chicks and things like that. And
it's all got the hardware cloth all over it. It's
completely secure.
Yeah.
Yep. So we put Romeo in one side of that so that he'll be safe for now until we can get him a safe area put back up. And then the next day we came out and we did some more looking. Now we did find some raccoon prints.
Couple of paw prints.
And obviously cat prints from our cats because our cats go
They-
everywhere,
yeah,
but they
they
don't
roam
really
the garden.
attack the birds. They don't ever
They've
attack the
even
birds.
gone in and like eaten with the ducks, like alongside them. They've drank out of their pond. They play in there
Yeah.
with the ducks, but they have never hurt the ducks.
Yeah,
they've
they've
never
never
attacked
hurt
the
the
ducks. The ducks are
They've
so
never hurt
big,
the
they
ducks.
just don't mess with them.
Yeah, and so we're still not completely satisfied that we found any sort of evidence as to what really happened, because a raccoon isn't typically going to run off with 10 ducks like that. You know, in general, a raccoon is going to kill them and play with them, and they may eat part of them, but they're going to leave part of them. They're not going to run off with it.
Right.
A fox could have come and snatched them, but that area, it's not like there's any gaping holes in the fence. So
Right,
for them to come and
so-
snatch, like, they would have to have a den in the area.
Right. So a fox, or even if it was a couple of foxes, you're telling me they got through the brush and bramble, they dug their way under the fence, they snatched
Which they didn't, because there's nowhere to dig that
right.
they dug.
And you're telling me they snatched 10 ducks and completely ran off with them all the way back
Yeah.
through the fence. They would
With
have
no
to drag
evidence.
them back through the fence or over the fence with no evidence.
So there's only one predator that we could come up with, and that might have done this. And we talked to a few people, and they kind of agreed that is a definite possibility, and that's the human predator.
Right. And that's the possibility we don't really want to think about. We don't really want to go that route, but I mean, it kind of would make sense. I mean,
That
that
they
would
just
fit.
disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I that's the only thing I can think, because there's no trace of anything. There's
And
no trace of anything.
We've lived here for years. This isn't like a new experience. We've had predators before. We've had coyotes that got one of my ducks about 4 years ago.
Up against the tree line.
And these were ducks that were out free ranging, walking
Yep.
back there toward the trees, toward the woods. So the duck wasn't in a safe area, and the coyote came out and just got him because it was an easy target. So that happened one time. But in all the years we've been here, nothing has ever attacked or even gotten close to our house where our chicken and duck areas are, and nothing has ever got in there to attack our birds. In years, this has never happened.
Nope.
And to lose an entire flock
Yeah, 10 birds. That's a lot.
overnight, yeah.
That's a lot
There's
of birds
something
to
is
just
wrong
have
here,
disappear.
you know?
Yeah. I can't even fathom what would have happened to them.
And we had possums walking through the duck area and the chicken area all the time to take the eggs that happened to have gotten left out there when my daughters didn't collect eggs for 1 or 2 days. They were going after the eggs. They walked all around the chickens, did not attack chickens. They didn't take chickens. None of our chickens have ever been hurt or taken. So we've never had a predator
Nope.
issue before. Certainly not like this.
No, not at all. Nothing like this. So let us know what you guys think in the comments about what you think it could be. The other possibility, of course, is wild dogs. But I didn't see any paw prints in there. A pack of wild dogs could easily run off with 10 ducks. But
again, how would they get under the fence?
well, wild dogs could probably jump over even, or they could have
That's a
gone through
pretty-
the gate.
It's a pretty tall
You know,
jump,
the holes in the
maybe.
gate, because there's no.
Yeah, maybe.
It's not like
possible, maybe.
there's fencing on
It
the
would
gate.
take an
like-
entire pack, yeah.
But I mean,
It's possible.
actually, there is fencing on the gate, isn't there? Because otherwise, the ducks would be able to get out.
Yeah, there's fencing on the lower part. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, that would be a pretty good jump because there are bars at the top and there's openings at the
Yeah.
top, but the bottom of the fence has that mesh,
Yeah, we have mesh on it,
gating
yeah.
stuff on it, so they couldn't get through the bottom. So it would take some pretty incredible action on the predator's
Yeah.
part, and it would take a
Yep.
lot of them to pull this off. So
Yep.
how did it happen?
I'm at a loss.
Yeah.
I'm really at a loss. It's definitely the great duck caper for sure. So let us know what you guys think in the comments. On our last podcast, we had a comment that I thought was pretty cool, and I haven't told you about it yet,
What?
but I thought it was a pretty cool idea.
Okay,
So a lady that lives in the UK mentioned that she does a garden, what she called a sense garden
A
for the
sense
visually
garden.
impaired. So things like fennel that are really strong
What?
smelling, and as the wind blows through it, you
Y'all, I
get
didn't even
that
think of
sensory
that.
perception.
Wow, that's That's like next
That would be
level.
really cool, huh?
That is so cool.
Isn't that a cool idea? Yeah. See, I didn't tell you because I wanted to see your reaction to it.
Wow. Yeah. I've never even thought of it that way. That's planting with the intention of planting things that have
a sensory,
scent, yeah. Or things
or texture.
I was about to say things you touch, like the leaves feel nice and velvety or different textures. Yeah.
But isn't that cool?
That's a great idea.
Like I think of like
that
sage, right?
Idea.
Sage has a strong smell and
the
it's
rosemary,
soft and
the rosemary, the sage, the fennel, thornless roses. Wow, yeah.
Isn't that cool? We need to plant just a whole raised bed area that's nothing but like a sensory.
I love touching asparagus because it's so ferny. I love touching things that are fern and soft feeling. Yep. I love those soft feels.
Have you guys ever heard of that? I had never heard of doing that. Obviously, one of you has heard of it because you told me about it, but I had never heard of doing that.
Yeah.
I bet that's why Lily always walks outside barefoot because she likes that sensory feedback.
I mean, we all do kind of. We don't realize we do, but we all plant gardens that appeal to our sensory perceptions. We all plant things we like to see and taste, and we like to grow it for this reason or that reason. We're appealing to our senses. But
this is so good.
Like when I'm starting to plant things or when I have, seed trays out, I'm just gonna sit like in the middle of the spot and just close my eyes and just smell and feel.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna like ask myself what appeals to me and then plant it there. So I thought, wow, yeah. Because I was already going in the direction of potager. I've tried to make a tiny little potager garden here. It's behind you guys. It's right behind the camera. So these roses and some pretty things I'm going to put in here. I put a dwarf rose right there and some rosemary over there and some things that appeal to me visually. I'm trying to make a little potager spot, but I want to make a sensory garden now.
Yeah. I think that would be awesome. I really want to do that. I'm really excited about doing it. I think that's a cool idea. And finding things that you wouldn't think about planting that have that sensory feedback to them. Because, a cabbage, say, doesn't have a lot of, it's not like you could smell a cabbage.
Right,
so finding things like fennel and things that have that sensory feedback to plant, I think that's going to be fun.
Now, in a sensory garden, I don't know how many vegetables would make that category, would appeal to those sensory perceptions. I don't know how many vegetables would be in my sensory garden. It'd be more probably herbal and floral.
Yeah,
so,
I bet more than we think. Hold on one second. It's getting kind of dark, so got to adjust the camera here. All right, we're back at it, guys. I just went ahead, I reset the camera because we got a stupid 30-minute limit on the camera.
We
I have to reset it. And we don't have a light on us because we're just outside and I didn't bring a light. So it's obviously evening time, and it's getting dark. So I had to adjust that as well so that you guys could actually see our beautiful smiling faces. So anyway, sensory garden, that's a must. Gonna do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys have experience doing stuff like that, let me know. I find it really interesting. Never even crossed my mind to do something like that. Those are the types of things that I wish I thought more along those lines, like kind of out of the box. Some
people are so creative. I don't have that creative bone in my body. I kind of copy other people's genius, but some people are so just outside the box creative.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, speaking of the garden, what things did we get planted in the garden this last week?
I was excited about all the direct sow things that we did, all the little leafy greens, the spinach and the
radishes.
Radishes, yep. I was trying to think of the word, the radishes.
The spinach, radishes, and mustard greens.
The mustards, yeah. So we didn't do mustards, I said this in our recent video, we didn't do mustards last season, last fall, because we just didn't think of it, I guess, or we didn't think anybody would want it. But we had a lot of requests after we started growing. Sorry, I'm swatting at bugs.
Sorry, it's mosquitoes again, because you're so sweet, baby.
So, we grew like the other kind of greens, but everybody said, do you have mustard greens? And I said, that's the one thing we didn't grow, so that's the one thing we had the most requests for. So we're going to try it.
Yeah, mustard greens are real, you either hate them or you love them, I guess.
It's a very specific taste.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like mustard greens. They're really strong. I am personally not a huge fan of mustard greens. Do you like them?
See, and I don't like a whole bunch of them, and I don't like them as much as other people do, but I like them, and I'll eat them. But that's surprising to me that you say that you're not a fan of them, because he is a Southern boy. Don't let him fool you. He's from the South, and his whole family is, and he's a Southern boy.
That's why I eat collards.
And he loves collard greens, but not a fan of mustard greens.
I don't know, the bite's a little too much for me.
A little too strong.
I just can't do mustard greens.
Okay. Some people can't, you know.
You know, I'm sure there probably are some mustard greens, some varieties that are really good that I haven't tried. So I shouldn't say I don't like them, because I said that for many years about radishes.
Yeah.
And
changed your mind.
I changed my mind. So we did 3 rows of radishes.
Does anybody have a special way to cook mustard greens that you like to change up the flavor? Is there a way you cook them to make them more palatable for him?
We planted 3 rows of radishes, 3 varieties. One variety was Helios Golden, which we grew last year. It was really, really good.
Yes.
French breakfast radishes, which we also grew last year.
Yeah, pretty ones.
Those were pretty, and they were good. They were a little spicier than the Helios Golden.
They get sizable. Yeah. Like they get pretty round
they get
and
tall.
thick and long.
So the Helios Golden are kind of a round, just a little ball. The French breakfast radishes are a white and red radish. It's red down near the bottom and white near the top, I think, or maybe that's in reverse. I don't know, but they're tall.
I think it's
they
white. They
grow kind of on top of the ground.
Yeah, but it's an elongated radish, so it's more tubular.
Yeah. No, so it's white on the bottom and red on the top.
White on the bottom, red on the top.
Because the bottom kind of starts to grow into the ground a little bit, and then it grows up out of the ground.
Yeah.
They're a little bit, they have more of a bite, like I said, but they're still good. And then we grew one of my favorites.
I forgot the word for that. I'm sorry, I forgot the word for that.
Astringent.
Astringent flavor.
Astringent. Yeah. And then
your favorite.
We grew, my favorite, the watermelon radishes. Really good, really good. They do still taste
pretty.
A little bit like a radish, but they're really sweet.
Right. It's almost, if you can imagine a sweet radish, it's almost got a fruity, radishy flavor. It's got that little bit of astringency in it, but it's got that little bit of sweetness on the end too. So.
And you remember what they look like inside?
Yeah. So you cut them open, and those swirls of rich color on the inside. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, just like bands of.
Yeah.
Red and white, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like stripes of like dark purple, reddish colors and white swirls in it, and it's it's a vibrant, really pretty radish.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, it's so tasty. And then the other thing we planted, not so controversial, spinach. The beloved spinach.
The beloved spinach.
But
that we have not mastered yet. But we will try it again. We have not mastered spinach.
We are not ever grown successful spinach.
We're not the master gardeners, guys. We're not perfect at this. We're not master gardeners by any stretch of the imagination.
We're learning right with you guys.
Yes.
We're learning at the same time you guys are.
And there's things that I have goals for us. I have goals. I have romantic ideas, just like every gardener does. I have the dream in my head of how I'm going to grow turnips the way I'm supposed to grow turnips, the big round turnips, and I'm going to pull them out of the ground, and it's going to be like, ta-da! And I have the dream of growing this luscious spinach, luscious patches of beautiful dark green leafy spinach.
So you mentioned pulling turnips out of the ground. One of the other things we planted, not turnips, but it reminded me of that. One of the other things that I think we planted, because it wasn't labeled right, was rutabaga.
Yes. So
rutabagas.
That was my mix-up in the tray. Well, we had some people helping us, and one of us, probably me.
Yeah, it could have been probably one of us because we were running around.
We were running around. One of us was trying to label while we were handing out seeds, and one of us trying to cover the seeds, and one of us trying to water. So in the mix-up, we know we planted rutabaga, and that's probably what it is.
Yep.
But it didn't have a label. It didn't get labeled. It was a mystery planting in the tray. But we put it in the garden, and we're going to see if it's rutabaga.
Yeah, and I don't know, for those of you that do a garden, quite a bit, you'll know that a lot of those brassicas, when they first come up, they look pretty similar.
Yeah, they all kind of look the same.
Collards, cabbage, kale even, a lot of that stuff, unless it's a color like the red jewel cabbage we planted, unless it's a colored thing and it's just normal green.
You're going to go,
if you don't label it,
such and such.
Yeah, you're going to be like, well, it probably is. But I'm pretty sure it's rutabaga because nothing else is labeled rutabaga.
I hope it is.
And I'm 90-ish% sure we planted rutabaga.
I hope it is.
So last year we did successfully grow rutabaga.
We did.
And it was that wonderful experience where, it doesn't all grow deep in the ground, right? There's the bulk of it is on top of the ground.
Is headed up
growing
above the
up
ground.
Out of the ground, So, but I thought it was cool. Big old rutabagas, and
It was a
love
thrilling
rutabaga.
experience. That's why I'm even more now looking forward to having that success with every other vegetable that we haven't been able to do right yet. We're going to try again.
Rutabagas, for those of you who haven't grown it, I don't know. I guess I don't really know how common rutabaga really is for people to eat in general, but I know that I love it.
Yeah,
just chopped up, use it, mix it with your mashed potatoes. You can cook it in soups, stews, roast it by itself. It's
starchy
so good.
vegetable that's so versatile. You can do a lot with rutabaga.
Really good.
We don't get a lot of requests specifically for rutabaga. We don't get a lot of people cheering us on to grow rutabaga. So I assume that there's not a lot of people around here in this area that love rutabaga or that all that crazy about it. But we just love it. I mean, we're going to raise it for our family, and I'm going to give it to people probably as like goodie bags. I'm going to say, here's some rutabaga.
Hopefully we'll have enough of it. Yeah, last year we really only had enough for us.
We had enough,
Hopefully we'll get plenty this time.
But you can just do so much with it, and you can cook so many dishes with it. I really think you should give it a try. I think it's the understated vegetable in the garden.
Now, another thing that we got planted, well, I didn't, you and the girls planted, was another few rows of cabbage. 2 rows, right?
Yes.
2 rows of cabbage. We planted cabbage 2 ways this year.
Well, the girls and I, when we were out there without you, we planted 2 rows of...
Yeah, two rows of cabbage and 2 rows of rutabaga.
Okay, I was about to say 2.5, but no, the rutabaga is 2.5, and we got 2 rows of cabbage. Yep. Yeah.
So it was Cheers cabbage is a variety they planted. It should be a nice, big, healthy cabbage.
Yes. Another one of those dreams I'm dreaming about.
Yeah,
I've never had
still haven't done the
big,
good cabbage.
luscious head of cabbage everywhere with all the huge leaves and cut the cabbage.
So we kind of tested out planting the cabbage 2 different ways with 2 different spacing. So the Cheers cabbage, she planted 24 inches apart. To give it more space. The other cabbage was the Red Jewel, and I can't think there was a green variety. I can't remember what it's called though.
Oh, I can't either.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But we planted those 12 inches apart. So it'll be interesting to see how well those do. And then we always plant on double rows. So we've got a single line of drip tape going down the row, and we plant on both sides of that drip tape. About the 2 rows that we plant in are about 6 inches apart on either side of that drip tape.
So you get, you get more for your money, basically. You get both rows planted, and that 1 line of drip tape is going to be plenty to water both sides.
Yep. Now, I thought we would do a little bit of an update on the broccoli and how it's doing.
Yeah.
So the broccoli, I don't know if...
And we're going to show all this in our videos, guys. We're going to show it visually to you.
So those of you that don't know, or maybe you're listening to this, we actually have a main YouTube channel. If you just go Google The Naked Hog, and I'll also leave a link in the description here. And that's, we do a lot more vlog style stuff, going around showing the garden, showing how we do stuff, what we're doing. The kids go through their chores and things like that, and you see all the farm animals.
You see all of our cats are back.
Not just, I see they're all back now,
They're all back now. See, they know. It's like clockwork. They have their routine. They go nap for a while, they go hunt for a while, and then they're back.
Those of you watching the podcast here on YouTube, you have seen some of the farm animals in the form of the cats, but the rest of the farm animals, if you head over to our main channel, you'll get to see those as well. Man, they love your potager garden. It has the softest, fluffiest dirt they could ever use for the restroom.
Oh, they do, I know. And they play around the roses. I don't dig in the roses with the rose dirt with my hands. I always use a tool and wear shoes, because the cats seem to love my potager garden as much as I do. They play in that dirt, and they go potty in that dirt. It is what it is. I'm just, they're not killing the roses. They're not hurting them. So I'm going to let it be what it is.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They're fertilizing your roses.
They're
what
fertilizing
they're doing. Yeah, fertilizing it.
We forgot to tell you, as far as the duck Romeo, we do have that 1 male mallard Romeo, but we also,
I did forget about that.
While that tragedy was happening, my daughter is raising 2 little ducklings that came from a buff and a ruin that someone couldn't take care of, didn't want the babies. She wanted the mom and dad, but didn't want these babies. The mom had sneaked a nest and had babies, and so she had to find them a new home.
Yep.
So we adopted them and gave them a new home. And it was 7 babies total. 5 of them were sold to a good friend of mine that really wanted ducks and had a place for them and had put all this preparation into ducks. Her babies wanted ducks, so she got the ducks for the babies. I sold those 5 ducklings to her, and we kept 2 of them. So it's a half Rouen, half buff. And you okay?
Yep, I'm just brightening your beautiful face some more because that
thank you.
sun is going down quick.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna have to start getting a light or something out here, I think,
or
for
start
you guys.
doing it earlier. We can start filming earlier.
We could film earlier in the day. That is true.
So yeah, we're raising those 2 babies that we have left that she wanted to keep, and they're almost fully feathered, like they're getting their adult feathers. They're coming along, but they were in the brooder box at the time. They were safe in 1/2 of that hardware clothed in brooder box, so they were safe from any predators. And she's been babying them and raising them. So this mallard that was the survivor will have 2 friends. I don't know if they're male or female yet, but it will have 2 friends. So we have a flock of 3 ducks left.
Yeah. Flock of 3. 3 is not much of a flock, but
it's not much.
I guess it's better than none.
Yeah.
And Lily even said, Dad, I'm thinking I might just want mallards.
Yeah.
Because they can fly.
Right? And I don't mind that. They're not the best layers. Mallards are not the best egg layers, but they are cool. They are, basically friendly, and they're just fun. They're fun to watch. I love to watch them. They don't leave. Ours didn't. They don't like fly away to another farm or another pond.
Yep.
They hung around here. They got fed. They were cool. I had no problem with them.
Yep. I need to trim my beard. And I know this is random, but man, it's driving me nuts. Like my mustache,
I know, it's
my
messing
beard.
with you, isn't it?
Drive me crazy. I gotta trim that.
So in the garden, those leafy greens we got planted in those hopefully
broccoli.
rutabagas, and then the
broccoli. So the broccoli has probably the broccoli's jumped up probably about twice as big as it was.
Yeah,
it's grown about 2 times, but
it, and it's
there's a
loving it.
couple of them that have that are like 3 times as big. Like
they're just champions.
I went out and I was like, wow.
They're overachievers, huh?
Yeah, it's only been 2 weeks since we put it in the ground, the transplants.
2 or 3.
2? No, I don't think 3. I think it's 2.
Okay, it might be 2.
I think it's 2.
Might be 2.
And what we've been doing with the fertilizer, for now, we're fertilizing it with some 20-20-20, a good balanced fertilizer. And that's just gonna give the roots and the plant a good start to its life. Now, in talking about broccoli's fertilizer cycle, I don't know how deep into this some of you guys wanna go and geek out, but broccoli it doesn't really start absorbing the nitrogen out of the soil until about the 4, 5, 6 leaf stage. So when it gets about 4 or 5 leaves on it, you want to start giving it that fertilizer, and then that's when it kind of starts that upward curve and starts really taking that nitrogen in.
And that's when you're going to see a visual difference. They're going to sprout up like they did on us.
They really feed heavy on the nitrogen all the way up until they start to bud. And then once they start putting on those flower buds or the broccoli head, right? Once they start putting that on, then it starts to kind of taper off that nitrogen uptake out of the soil.
It's kind of set at that point.
Yeah, so you want to fertilize the broccoli on a regular basis. If you're trying to do all organic, that's fine. You can either get some good balanced all organic fertilizer. But if you're doing organic, I would make sure that you're putting it into the soil and working it in really a couple weeks before you put your broccoli in, because it needs time to start breaking down in the soil.
Organic does take longer.
Yep. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's good, and it works just fine, but just know that it's a little slower than the other way of doing it.
Yep. We're using a product called 20-20-20 that we get from Haas Tools, and it's just a real balanced, it's not organic, but it's just a real balanced fertilizer. This is only our 2nd fall planting out in these beds. So our nutrient content in the soil isn't that great. This soil is a real sandy clay mix, and
if we relied on just this dirt only for its nutrients of what it has and we didn't fertilize at all, we probably wouldn't get any veggies.
Yeah, probably nothing. So we fertilize, and we use the 20-20-20 because we are firm believers in do what it takes to grow your food. If you have to fertilize with non-organic means, use chemical salt-based fertilizers to grow your food, then just do it. You know, do it within reason and everything in balance, but do what you need to do. Don't let the hype out there. Sometimes people can get stifled in their attempt to grow their own food because they don't want to grow a garden because they think they have to do all this other stuff that they don't understand, or there's so many different opinions out there. Look, you do what works for you. If you want to build a little 4 foot by 4 foot raised bed and fill it full of compost from Lowe's and plant you some plants in there, go for it. If you want to fertilize with salt-based fertilizers, do it. If you need to, you know, if you feel the need to fertilize with organic fertilizers, great, we use them too.
Because one thing we've definitely found, I mean, we've been doing this for a couple of years now, and one thing for sure we have found, it's gardening is not a one fits all. It's not a one size fits all thing. So you just do your way, because even on the same spot, even on the same property where I'm at, I've noticed that different areas of my property require different methods and require different things. It's not going to be a one shoe fits all kind of thing. It's not going to be, oh, this is the way to garden. There is no one way to garden. I mean, yeah, there's certain basic rules and basic laws you have to follow with certain basic vegetables. That's just how they work, and this is what you're going to have to give them, or else they won't give you anything. So there is basic laws like that you have to follow, but anything outside of that, as far as how you get there, is all up to you.
Yep, definitely. And I don't know if y'all heard my phone just go off. It was Jason. I was talking to Jason over at Cog Hill Farm, and he was talking to me about the video they just did about the gifts people send them. And so they just filmed the next installment of the gifts, guys. You guys should go watch that. Really interesting, because I just love seeing the creativity of people and the caring of people, and they just send us stuff like that.
Table mountain of gifts, you know, like a week or two's worth of gifts that subscribers send them because they love them so much.
Yeah.
And they get
And it means so much to them.
Oh,
yeah,
they get so
it means
excited.
so much
like,
to them.
In real life, guys, that's not just, oh, they perform this in front of the camera. No, they text my husband about this, telling us how giddy and excited they are. It's like Christmas for them. It's like Christmas
it's
for
really,
the
and
Homestead.
it's awesome because you know, to see the impact that they have on other people's lives, it really...
And they want to know you.
I don't know,
like they want to know that
awesome.
person that sent them that gift, or that person that is talking to them and sending them things. They want to know you. They want to know your life and your situation. They want to know...
They actually care about the people.
How are you homesteading? How are you gardening? And what can we do to help? You know?
Yeah. Or if you're not homesteading, you just like watching them.
Right. If you just like watching them, that's great.
Yep. So it's just, you know, it's just awesome. They're such close friends of ours, and you know, I almost get choked up when I think about it, because they're just great people. Great people.
And that's, in this world, I hate to say it like that, but that's hard to find some genuine people that have no agenda. They're not trying to get gain. They just they love people. They do it for the pure enjoyment of it. These are some fun-loving people.
Yep. Just love them to death. Love them to death. What else? Can you think of anything else? If you guys have recipes for ginger beer, like we talked about making it earlier, wrong bottle.
We've never done it.
I did look up some recipes, but if you guys have done it, I would love to know your experiences, because it is a first for us. We've done fermenting, right? And we don't drink anymore, but many moons ago, I did make my own hard cider.
You did.
But I imagine that's a little different than, because the ginger beer is a little bit different. It's more of a ferment.
Is it like pickles? Like everybody's got their own recipe for it? Is that how ginger beer works? Like everybody's got their own way of doing it? Yeah.
So there's one guy, I can't think, what's the name of it? Let me look it up. Glenn's. Boy, it's getting dark quick here, guys.
Sorry, the light is fading, guys. For those of us who are watching and not just listening, the light is failing on us.
History. Let's see here. Boy, this history. Old David Copperfield.
He's looking through his history.
Glenn and Friends Cooking. So looked up recipe for ginger bug, how to make the ginger bug and the ginger beer. The ginger bug is kind of like your sourdough starter, right? That's what you're going to use to ferment your ginger beer. Then you make a ginger tea with whatever ingredients you're going to use for the flavorings. You put it in the bottle, or you mix some ginger bug juice into it. It doesn't sound appetizing when you call it ginger bug.
I mean,
then you put it all in the bottle, you cap it off, and you let it sit for I don't know, however many days you want to let it sit, and it gets naturally carbonated from the fermentation process, and then you put it in the fridge.
Okay.
And then you pop it open and drink it.
See, and anything that does that or any process that involves that way of doing it, it has to be good for you. It has to be healthy.
It's got to be good for you. And the alcohol content is so low that it's basically negligible, similar to like other things like orange juice or things like that that you buy at the store all have an alcohol content.
Vanilla extract.
Yeah,
alcohol.
you cook,
but it's negligible. People bake with it all the time, you know.
Yep. I mean, imagine if you drank vanilla extract straight, it wouldn't be negligible.
You're not supposed to.
But I don't think
straight.
you'd want to get drunk on
No.
vanilla extract.
How much vanilla extract would it take to get somebody
Yeah,
drunk?
that'd be an expensive drink right there.
I don't want to find out.
So, boy, that went down a weird path. All right.
Guys, sorry.
So if you guys have a recipe for ginger beer or any other natural sodas, let us know. One thing I didn't mention, we have made our own soda before. Do you remember? Before we moved out to the homestead out here, we had water kefir from some good friends of ours up in Indiana. They sent us some water kefir, or they sent us with, when we moved, some water kefir granules.
Yeah.
And we used that with some fruit juice from the store.
We did.
And it was awesome. I think it was like, was it blueberry?
Yeah, I remember the look on your face. You did like a blueberry flavored one. And you were like,
"That's so good." It was so good. And I did lots of research before I did it, and it was real hit or miss about whether people thought it would work or wouldn't work. And
you get some
it
strange
worked.
reviews on the net, but if you actually try it, it does work.
From what I read, juice is not great for the water kefir in general, because water kefir is like a balance between yeast and bacteria in these granules.
Right, you have to keep that balance.
Yeah, and so the juice isn't good for the health of the water kefir, but if you pull the water kefir out and then keep it going in tea, which is what it really likes being in, I guess, is tea, if I remember right. Maybe that's kombucha. I forget. Water kefir likes a certain thing. I don't remember what it is, though.
Yeah, but it was something more balanced and not so acidic, not as acidic as fruit juice.
Yeah, and not sugary either.
And not sugary.
Yeah. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. You got anything else before we wrap up?
I don't have anything. I know we had to catch y'all up on some of those updates on the homestead, and I know we bounced around a lot, but yeah, and I know
it is getting dark.
The
sun's about to
and I know we cover a lot in the episode, but we want to just try to make sure y'all are like right here with us in our lives, that we're being completely transparent with you guys. Y'all are coming with us on our journey. Y'all are going to try things along with us. And if there's anything you guys want to know about, let us know in the comments, because we are more than happy to share that with you guys. We would love to hear your guys' thoughts and what you would kind of like to hear about, or if you just have any questions. That's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, like the sensory garden.
That's
so awesome. I'm gonna have to do some Googling on that tonight, because I thought that was great. But anyway, we love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. Go check out Jason's latest video, whether that's on his main Cog Hill channel or the Cog Hill podcast channel.
They're just fun to watch.
Yeah, so great, so great.
You'll love it.
We will catch you guys
in
the next
9.
podcast. At 9. Yeah, this was 8.
This was 8.
8. So the next one's 9.
Made it to 8.
So we're gonna make double digits soon.
I know.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
That's a record for us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Y'all
See
have
you
a
guys
good night.
later.
Bye.